get that on the move. Now what you gonna do when you get that on the move? Come on, get down with the feller, man. All right, I know what folks are looking for. All right, I see it. Let's see if we can't figure this whole thing out here. Come on.
The news is a shit show these days, and we're here to give you a break from the white supremacist media bullshit by bringing you the shitty news so that you can feel less like shit because you know the people discussing all the fucked up shit give a shit about you and the shitty situations you deal with every day. So shit. Pour yourself a glass and settle in for Father Teresa's wine cellar.
All right, Father Muckers. Let's get on down to something and or other. And so, Phoenix Calida brought me some news. News that I personally would call an update. Right? And it was an update on the police gangster fellers.
Yes.
The police gangster fellers out there in the in Los Angeles. And then when I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and make this shit like a post and a thread. Right? Not the 90s news feed. Here it is. All right. So I went on the Facebooks and I said, let's make it a thread. And also I have to use my smartphone for this because I think that may be the only way that I can access these Los Angeles Times articles.
Uh-oh.
Can you pull up the one that you tagged me in?
Yeah,
The NPR with the update on the Los Angeles police gangs.
Yes.
And while Phoenix is there, now it doesn't even start where I currently have it because I need to find a way to access an article from 2006. Right? I've gone all the way back to 2011, 2009 because it is interesting, right? So over here at the American Civil Liberties Union, they're letting us know via their headline that ACLU report documents eyewitness accounts of brutality against Los Angeles County Jail inmates by sheriff's deputies. Mm-hmm. All right. And when I go back in my thread, I note that for this one, I remember from my show notes, this is a 2011 story. And this is when my show notes would get rejected when I was doing free podcasting for Black Freethinkers and Kim Veal and Raina Rhodes and them niggas.
Yeah.
And this was one of the show notes stories that they rejected. Was fucking, yeah, ACLU. All right, here we are. LA Times 2009. All right, this one's notable. It's It's an article by Alicia Lozano while Phoenix Calida's getting the NPR article.
I've got my NPR one.
Okay, can you get the NPR update first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was published March 25th by Jacqueline Diaz. It says last year, journalist Cerise, I'm guessing that's how she says her name, Castle, authored an investigation into gangs within the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. She detailed the long history of these gangs and how prevalent they still are in Los Angeles in an investigative series published by Knock LA. According to the investigation, there are at least 18 different gangs within the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and they are allegedly tied to the deaths of at least 19 people, all of whom are men of color. Castle's reporting includes a database of names of deputies reportedly involved in these gangs. The department did not speak to the journalism outlet for the series. But this week, the Civilian Oversight Board, charged with keeping tabs on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, announced that it will begin an investigation into the prevalence of deputy gangs within the department. The announcement of the committee's investigation comes approximately a year after Knock LA published Castle's investigation. Castle said, quote, "It's quite a full circle movement for me to see that an independent investigation is being pursued." Since her project was released, Castle said she's seen multiple occasions where Los Angeles police deputies, along with the gangs they are a part of, take egregious actions against civilians. And Castle noted that many of these stories do not make it into the news. Her investigations have continued. So, yeah, that's what they're saying. But of course, Sheriff Alex Villanueva wrote on Facebook, because that's how you respond to this shit is through Facebook.
Yeah.
Said that inquiries into his department are just a fishing expedition. They have matching tattoos, Alex.
Ooh. And they responded on the fucking Facebook.
And on Facebook, not to NPR, who asked for comment, but in a fucking Facebook post. Yeah. He said, no one has provided me with even one name of a deputy involved in gangs. Probably because I don't fucking trust you to investigate it, you weirdo. The investigation is set to take 5 to 6 months to complete, and the commission aims to determine which stations these gangs operate out of, as well as the scope and impact that these groups have on the communities they are meant to protect. So keep in mind, Villanueva said that there is no evidence. No one gave him any names. However, LA County Inspector General Max Huntsman has demanded documents and an investigation. And in a letter, he said that at least 41 county deputies have been identified as being tattooed members of the Executioners. First of all, they're called the Executioners. Secondly, like I said, they have matching tattoos. Third, they found 41 of them.
That's now you got 41 that you know of.
Right. And I think that's a big thing too, because I'm sure not every single cop has the tattoo and does that shit, but every cop is letting that shit slide. I guarantee you every cop knows.
Right, or looks up to it, or wishes they were bold enough to do that, but they're like, oh, but I just, I got little Timmy has a dentist appointment and I just want to fly straight and collect my pension.
California's legislature has defined law enforcement gangs as peace officers within a law enforcement agency who may identify themselves by a name or be associated with a symbol, including but not limited to matching tattoos. Lawmakers have said the problem appears to be most prolific in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Yeah.
Ugh. Now, this is a new problem. All right. Now, Alicia Lozano, as noted, Los Angeles Times is where you're going to get most of this stuff. They cover it harder than anyone because, hey, it's their county, isn't it? So Alicia tells us that amid an aggressive push to bolster its ranks with thousands of new deputies, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department loosened its hiring practices and gave jobs to recruits who in the past would have been rejected, according to a department watchdog report released on Thursday. Among those hired were applicants with criminal records, drug and alcohol problems, and financial woes. One recruit, for example, had been released from another police agency after using excessive force. Another candidate had abused marijuana and steroids and had been convicted of underage drinking shortly before he applied to become a deputy.
Okay. So as we're reading this, I just want to add one more thing in for additional context. If y'all don't follow Equality Alec on Twitter, you should. This is a person who does a lot of threads about civil rights and police brutality and things like that.
How do you spell it? Equality Alec?
Yes. E-Q-U-A-L.
Oh, no, the Alec part.
Oh, A-L-E-C.
Oh, it's that real name.
Yeah.
My bad. I'd be forgetting that that's one of those white people names.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin, actually. Yeah.
And so something that he pointed out in a thread recently is that the LA Times revealed that the LA Sheriff's Department has 42 employees doing PR in an information bureau that costs millions, and their communications director makes $200,000 a year. So as this is going on, the LAPD literally has over 40 employees doing PR blitzes to say that it's not happening.
Almost the same number as that you found to be in the gang.
Exactly.
Ugh. And then back to 2000, was this 2009 or 11? 2009, which again, and now this paragraph right here is why I need to find an article from 2006 now, several really. Quote, the report written by the county's Office of Independent Review criticized the department for its 2006 decision to abandon a strict hiring policy in which aspiring sheriff's deputies were automatically disqualified if they failed to pass an exacting background check or any other part of the application process. In its place, the report found the department adopted a more liberal approach that allowed applicants to be hired if officials determined they had reformed themselves or that past mistakes were insignificant what was my first episode of the year? Leave plausible deniability
behind. Yes.
Damn. And
Yes.
so they made a start plausible deniability rule. Right, and that's interesting. As I look at the time, 5:57 in the AM, I'm wondering how much we'll be able to get before it's time to get to the actual shift. Right, and we saw the ACLU with the now these deputies are now working in the jail, so now they're what is that something office, corrections officers.
Yes.
Right, so now we know the gang members are on the street and corrections officers. And then Dooba Rock. And there's a follow-up from the ACL 2011 in 2013, but then it flips back to the Los Angeles Times with an article up by Robert Federici, Faturechi, Federici, I'm guessing. And accompanying Robert is Jack Leonard on this article from 2013, December 9th. And so, the sheriff at the time now is Lee Baca, who should be on their way out a year from this article, or actually a few months from this article. So Los Angeles County Sheriff Lee Baca, B-A-C-A, said the charges against 18 current and former sworn officers on allegations of jail misconduct mark a sad day for the department, but he denied suggestions that it represents a larger institutional problem.
It's wild. No matter how many times they get caught up, it's never an institutional problem.
Of course not.
Ever.
No.
No.
Why would it be? Come on now. I mean, what? Like Kyle Rittenhouse, people are already talking about him being an elected official. How could it possibly be an institutional problem? Right, he continues, at a news conference Monday afternoon, flanked by more than a dozen of his top aides, Lee Baca said he and the department have fully operated with the FBI's investigation and, quote, didn't hold anything back. Please know that I respect the criminal justice system and no one is above the law. I accept responsibility. You don't see me retire from the job or blame others, end quote. For the last 163 years, 99.9% of the Sheriff's Department employees, quote, have done outstanding work. And he continues bolstering himself. The article continues around him saying, on Monday, federal officials unsealed 4 grand jury indictments and 1 criminal complaint alleging that 18 Sheriff's Department employees engaged in abuse and misconduct inside Los Angeles County jails. Charges in the indictments range from conspiracy, actual conspiracy, and obstruction of justice to improperly arresting and searching visitors to the jails. In announcing the arrest, U.S. Attorney Andre Birotte Jr., B-I-R-O-T-T-E Jr., said the incidents, quote, did not take place in a vacuum. In fact, they demonstrated behavior that had become institutionalized, end quote, he said in a statement. This story just keeps getting cooler and cooler.
It does.
For my bad. For folks interested in this, all of the full articles are posted on my Facebook, William J. Jackson, under the thread that I made just a couple hours ago. I should link it to the Patreon so it's easier to archive. And so you can actually go through all of these articles and look at this story play out. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was actually looking to see, we covered a story about a girl who got strip searched going into jail to see her dad, and I was trying to see if it was in LA, but I couldn't find it fast enough.
Right, like I should look for the one I saw on YouTube years ago. A white woman, a very small person. I shouldn't say very, but a small person in general. And the fucking pig, the pigs tend to be some big hulking motherfuckers. Some of them even abuse steroids, according to these articles. And the way cuz threw her in there and she just whacked her face right on the corner of the concrete bench. And like he threw her into that bench, and instantly it's like a black and white video, and you could see the blood pool up so fucking fast. It's like teeth rocked, face broken. And again, like that's what I say, yo, like police brutality to white women in particular is always about fucking up your face. That is my theory, and I think it's becoming a scientific fact that white men police go after your face. I think the black men too, actually. Yeah, because I remember that story from 2012 of the black man punching a white woman in the face and breaking her face, but he was a cop, so he's a blue life. But yeah, man. Yeah, you got something.
No.
Oh, Fizz be looking intently. I'm like, oh shit, it's real. Oh goodness. Okay, running around, similar time. Now we're in 2012, and LA Times. I pulled my notes from this because it's really about one particular line. Because this LA Times article, the headline is, "From the Archives, Secret Clique in LA County Sheriff's Gang Unit Probed." Right, so they're using the word clique, right. CILQUE. And I was like, huh, because the name of the clique was the Jump Out Boys. Now, folks may have heard I've been doing my little side series, which is Patreon only at the $10 a month level. I plan on moving that down to the $5 a month level, and because gangster rap is journalism to me. If it's like, I know some of that shit is just sloppy niggas talking bullshit, but listen to a lot of it, you're gonna find some journalism. And I remember the Hot Boys album titled Guerrilla Warfare, and they had a song called Tuesdays and Thursdays, which was kind of like advice to low-level street drug dealers that Tuesdays and Thursdays are task force days, don't slang on those days. And something that BG said on there was, them Jump Out Boys take your loot. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, them big white boys have a nigga spooked. Wait, them what boys? Them Jump Out Boys, which makes you wonder, right? Like, is this an interstate gang, or is that just vernacular? I'd love to know. I'd love to interview BG and find out where he got that language from.
I mean, probably both, because that is both the action of what they're doing, but also a way to classify them quickly as who they are based on what they do.
Yeah, like maybe you see a certain type of van, right? Like it's a van that looks like an Amazon van, but it's painted like this, white with this, and like you just like, oh shit, it's them Jump Out Boys. Go, 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 go. Yeah, that shit is real. It's rough. Again, like this is, let's reset the premise. Phoenix Calida started this with an update on the police gangs from NPR.
Yes.
Right? And let's say you want to be a podcaster and you want to see how we do these things. You go back and you find other articles about that story leading up to it, and you see how the whole longer story plays itself out. Which eventually, like if you go back far enough in this story, you have slave patrols catching niggers and putting them back on plantations.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's where the story eventually goes, but we're dealing with a microcosm in linear time. And now this 2014 article from the ACLU, the only thing I'll mention from that is the headline and one line from it, speaking to the names of these gangs. The headline of the ACLU article is, "The Reign of Terror Ends at LA County Jails," which that's a bold headline. No, it didn't. You know, goddamn well it didn't. It's a jail. It's supposed to be terrible. But they noted that the deputy gang went by the 3000 Boys. I've never heard that name before, but now log that in your thought box, right?
Okay.
Plug it in the memory bank, right? The 3000 Boys. We'll be looking for that again as we cover more of these good cops. And looking more in 2014, the folks over at NPR, April 21st, they have an article up headlined, "Watchdog's New Target Embattled LA Sheriff's Department." And just a little bit from the article, and it's back to the 18 and former deputies facing the felony charges, right? And so they're back to that. And an individual by the name of Max Huntsman, who was newly Max Huntsman's job in the newly created role of watchdog is to help clean up the department. The only problem is he doesn't have any real power. In a sign, perhaps, of how unglamorous his new job will be, Huntsman's new digs are a cramped collection of dark offices and cubicles, 2 floors above the famous food stalls of LA's Grand Central Market. So they're already showing you how much they respect the process, which they don't, but how much they resent the process, which they do. Right? So they're like, yo, fuck you for even having this job and for this job even existing. Now we have a quote from Huntsman. The bottom line is, I think you need to have people looking over your shoulder and knowing what you are doing in order to make sure those cliques don't develop. That you don't get a group of people in the jail who think of themselves more as a gang than as deputy sheriffs. That's when you don't have that light shining that happens. That light, end quote, that light is really the only tool Huntsman will have, unlike a police chief who in a big city who answers to the mayor of a civilian commission. LA sheriff is elected and enjoys a lot of autonomy. And by sheriff, we're still talking about Lee Baca. Right? Because you had a different sheriff by the time you get to 2022. And we're looking at 2016 now. All right, well, we're going back to the LA Times in 2018. In this article, they refreshed the reader on one from 2016. Quote, Los Angeles County Sheriff Jim McDonnell, now it's Jim McDonnell, Los Angeles County Sheriff Jim McDonnell has launched a comprehensive inquiry into secret deputy cliques and is looking into whether gangs that condone illicit behavior are operating within his ranks. End quote, from that year. Mr. McDonnell's announcement at a meeting of the Sheriff Civilian Oversight Commission comes 2 weeks after allegations surfaced that as many as 20 deputies at the Compton station have matching tattoos featuring a skeleton holding a rifle. I think that's the executioners. Yeah. A Compton deputy recently admitted under oath that he was inked with the skull logo in June of 2016, about 2 months before he was involved in a fatal shooting.
In 2016, huh?
2016.
All right.
Watchdog said the revelations were, and these are notes that I already pulled from the article.
So Ferguson was 2014.
See.
So they saw Ferguson go down and said, you know what, actually?
Yeah. We need to.
But then police be like, we don't know why nobody likes us.
Yeah, they saw Ferguson. They were like, the fuck? They got fucking M-raps and shit. We need to shoot some niggas so we get some of those toys.
Right.
God damn it. Can one of them last name be Brown so that it hits the algorithm? Whew. All right. Continuing with my notes that I took directly from the article, I took my highlighted notes and made them a comment. Quote from McDonnell. Renegade cliques erode public confidence as well as internal morale, and they will not be tolerated within the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. End quote.
Okay.
He said he wanted the deputy unions to join in the examination. Yeah, bring in the police union. He stopped short of calling his effort an investigation, but he added that a separate administrative probe, so it's a probe, not an investigation. It's a probe. Where was that? Probe into the 2016 shooting is still underway. In 2016, the Compton Station deputy Samuel Aldama and other deputy shot a man they said was holding a gun. An autopsy showed the man, Dan Taylor, was shot 6 times. Investigators did not find a weapon on or near Taylor's body. Damn, they didn't even do Walter Scott that shit. Right, Walter Scott was the black man where Cuz like shot Cuz in the back and then walked up and threw his taser on the dead body. Like, they didn't even Walter Scott the nigga. God damn. Continuing, as part of a wrongful death lawsuit filed by Taylor's family, Aldama admitted in a deposition in May that he is one of 10 to 20 of his colleagues who have the tattoo, featuring the skeleton with the letters CPT for Compton, which everything they
Put
do.
the fucking cops on gang injunctions. Jesus Christ.
Yes, ma'am. And again, with the plausible deniability, right? So like when you see someone saying something that looks like it's just a joke about the Holocaust, it's just a joke. And their picture is a little anime thing, a little My Little Pony anime. It's just a joke. And notice how they're using CPT, you know, just like the rappers. Ha ha ha. It's funny. Hey, we're like gangsters too. We're gangsters too, huh, bro? You actually are. It's not a joke. You really are gangsters. Right? Or they could be like, it's color people time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's all just a joke, but they always murder people behind their jokes. Aldama said the ink represented, quote, working hard, and was not associated with an exclusive club or with using force. An individual by the name of Priscilla Osen is a Loyola Law School professor? Sure. And a member of the Oversight Commission, and she said that McDonald's effort was a good first step. But the question is, if we investigate and find that there is a rampant culture of cliques or gangs in the sheriff's department, then what will be done about it? End quote.
But also, like, even that shit, like, what the fuck does that even mean? How is she defining rampant?
Huh. Yeah,
what
rampant.
the fuck does that... So does that mean... Right, because that mean if it's one nigga out of 20, it's not rampant, so you don't have to do anything about it? What the fuck does that mean?
That's like how this nigga Aldama laid out that wide-ass window. There's 10 to 20 of us. So 50% to 100%? Nigga, is it half or whole? God damn. Shit. These niggas is grimy than a motherfucker, man. Moving it up and moving it forward, we're looking at 6:14 in the AM, and I really do not want to have to clock in before I get to work and basically steal time. I don't want to have to do that. All right. But just a wee bitsy boo more here, right? Because this is what we call a deep dive, to my understanding. Uh-oh. Oops, I just messed up. There we go. I accidentally clicked out of my own thread. There we are, Matey McMaterson. And I'm making sure I'm not coming from your article, but from the ones I got. There we go. Yeah, that is from the update. So I'm gonna skip Los Banditos because those are videos, and hop right over here, and we're gonna close it out with ABC7, an article up by Lisa Bartley in 2019. Headline: Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy describes attack by Banditos clique. All right, because I think that's who's noted in the update is the Banditos. Okay. So, and this is for the news outlet ABC7, Los Angeles KABC. Deputy gangs are facing renewed scrutiny at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department as the district attorney weighs potential criminal charges against members of the Banditos. Excuse me, a gang or clique that operates out of the East Los Angeles Patrol Station. East Los Angeles, right? Our good friend Jennifer Becker, the retired teacher, now not even in California anymore. She left, went up north. She was out there, and also we know from culture and movies and people and whatnot that we've met from out there that is the Mexican area, and the Banditos is a fitting name. I'm wondering if those are cops that are men that speak Spanish, right? So that's better for community engagement, right? This is my speculation on them having the name and patrolling that area.
Oh, I just assume it means they're robbers and they're very deep in civil forfeiture.
Oh my goodness, if you remove the O, it's bandit. I am real simple when it comes to this interlingual shit. I'm so basic.
Yeah, I'm literally guessing that's all that is.
Yeah,
it's
Bandito
they will
is
fucking rob the shit out of you.
Bandit. Oh my god. So they're the civil forfeiture squad. Got him, coach. Okay. The law said, thank you. I am so goddamn simple. I hate being ignorant. It's really hard. It's so, like, for you folks out there that are not ignorant the way I am, you know how hard my life is at times? I mean, like, on the stress point, because, like, there are times where my ignorance is up against a time clock. I need to figure out how to solve this problem now, but I have no idea what's going on. Right, while you are all just like, I'm educated and my parents made sure to teach me stuff at home. Let's solve this problem. I don't know shit, man. Fuck.
Oh, no. But yes, I'm guessing that's why they went with Banditos.
They're fucking bandits.
Yeah.
Fathermuckers. All right. Continuing. And now that name comes back up. The sheriff now in 2019 is Alex Villanueva, as I would pronounce it. Yes, that's the
guy I had in mind, who said there's no evidence of any of this.
Right, then how come we've been reading about this shit? Apparently, since damn near the Bush administration, my man. Apparently, it's been a problem from Bush, Obama, Trump to Biden. Nigga, this is a bipartisan problem, my man.
Yep.
And as we said, if we go back in time further, it's just gonna keep being a problem. God, darling. Again, closing out here, back to this article on ABC7. The measure follows a violent deputy confrontation at a department-sponsored party at the Kennedy Hall in East LA. A deputy who was beaten up at that party, is speaking out anonymously as he and 6 other deputies file a legal claim alleging harassment and discrimination. Quote, "There's people getting, stomped on, being choked out. It was just crazy. Crazy to believe they're all cops." End quote. Nigga, it's crazy for you to believe that cops choke people, beat people up, and stomp people. You are one of them. That's what they do. Nigga, you better get your ACAB on. Better get up and Dorner something. If enough of y'all go Chris Dorner, they can't kill you.
That's true. That's true.
Loopholes. Y'all don't have to take this shit. Remember, nigga, you have guns too.
Right, and then also just do what you normally do anyway. Like, a jury never convicts cops for killing people.
Yeah. Make it look gang related. I mean, why aren't you doing that? Just roll up on another cop, bust him in the head, and then just be like, fucking MS-13 did it.
Yeah.
Be like, I saw him. You're the cop. You're obviously telling the truth. Like, for you few cops out there that claim you're the good cop, you really could be doing a lot of good.
Could be.
You could, and no consequence.
Yep.
No fucking consequence.
Which really is the true sign of cowardice. When you have the ability to make a change and you just don't because you don't feel like it, even though you could, without even putting yourself in fucking danger.
Y'all niggas could actually be Dexter Morgan, dead up. Cause how could you do it, right? Roll up, shoot the dirty cop, right? You're a good cop, they're a bad cop. It's a dichotomy, right? Good cops and bad cops.
Yeah.
You shoot the bad cop, and then you know of someone, right? Like Dexter did. Like, this motherfucker clearly did that shit, but they're just out on the street, dirty motherfucker. Boom, pin it on that motherfucker. Now they're a cop killer. Done and done.
You wouldn't even have to frame anybody, or just kill them and be done with it. Because then once it comes out that they're a dirty cop, they just got killed doing what they were doing.
Yeah, dirty cop.
Like, it was just a drug deal gone wrong, or like a payoff gone wrong, or whatever. Like, you don't even need to make an explanation. Just show their fucking record of them being criminals, and that's that.
Or who I still want them to pin it on people.
I don't want them to pin it on people, because that's gonna go wrong.
It is gonna go wrong, but man, I think about them stories we covered, like the rapist in Canada.
Yeah.
That, like, while he was locked up, he fucking raped a goddamn the woman that was working in the jail, like, held her hostage and raped her in his cell.
Yeah.
And was still back out on the street.
Yeah.
Pin it on him.
I mean, we could just shoot them too.
Just shoot them too, fine. Like, fuck it. Get a couple guns, put the cop's handprint on the gun that you shot the rapist with. It was a shootout, they got each other, they took 10 steps and drew.
And everyone's good fertilizer now.
Blam! And all of a sudden,
It's a happy ending for the planet.
you kill enough of them, and all you have left is all you so-called good cops. And all of a sudden, cops are good.
All of a sudden.
Hey! Nah, that's bad ideas. Don't listen to me, buddy. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about over here. It's just a rhetorical entanglement or something.
Oh,
No,
Jesus.
is Will Smith gonna slap me? Is Will Smith gonna hit me? You're not gonna hit me, Willie. You're little Willie from Philly. Shut up, boy. Oh, mark-ass nigga.
Okay,
You
but
been
why
a
is the
buster.
most popular comment about it? This why he got sent to Bel Air in the first place. So shit like this.
Right, and I bet that is like a million people are making that joke and hoping theirs is the one that trends.
Yeah, but this one already has 78,000 likes, so.
Oh yeah, done. Yeah, you lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to just have a page with 100,000 followers. You can just force yourself to trend. I like doing that. I sometimes I comment on them. Right, like I put up a screenshot of my own tweet on the page with the most followers, then comment under my Facebook profile that has the same name as a Twitter account, just like, yo, this guy has some dope tweets.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know, and to well-received laugh reacts. I get it. I'm a smart ass. But it's also 6:23 in the AM, and I need to get on down to this here building, and so I've got to go. Just go out the door. Like, whoa, got to go. Will Smith won't smack me in my motherfucking face. You can step to Chris Rock with that shit, but I don't hate, nigga. You try to play them patriarchy games. I'm not ableist, but nigga, you look lame than a motherfucker. And that's vernacular, player. Nigga, blah, 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 Jada. Nigga says something about G.I. Jane. I got my throat. I got saliva in my throat and I'm dying. All right, y'all get the hell on from around here. All right. Yep, stop that there.
Oh my god, why does everyone have such bad takes on this Will